following podcast may contain strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, and welcome to Hallmark of Greatness Last Orders, the podcast where we look back into the films our Hallmark favourite actors and directors would rather forget that they were ever involved with. I'm Joe, and with me as always, a man who loves Halloween so much, his favourite drink is Malibu. It's James.
I feel like I'm not worthy of that joke. That's good.
Mate.
Have I not heard that before?
I mean, there was a lot of them that I got rid of. And also, the world's only vegetarian zombie who only eats grains. It's Planty!
Oh, that would be great, but I'm grain intolerant.
Listen,
whatever that is, granolant.
My other plan was going to be like bamboo and do the same joke, but punchline. But I thought I'll mix it up, try and make it a bit special, and you just ruined it.
Standard.
It's Halloween. We're back after a short hiatus due to reasons. But if you want to keep up to date with all the Hallmark Greatness nonsense, you can follow us on Twitter at Hallmark Great, all one word, or you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Hallmark Greatness. Or if you are some kind of technological forest witch and wish to recommend a film to us, you can email us hallmarkgreatness@gmail.com.
If you dare.
Yeah, or just send a raven, because it's Halloween.
Yeah.
It's the spookiest time of year, apart from Valentine's Day.
Which is pretty fucking creepy.
It is. It is near me.
In the Hallmark universe, every season is creepy. With intense laser focus on that one season.
And pumpkin spice.
Oh.
Yeah, your local vets is doing it in the background.
They'll pumpkin spice your pets.
Ooh, I wonder if you could get taxidermy full of potpourri, and then you can switch it out every season.
Is that not what happened to her in Midsommar? She don't get potpourried. She's got a lot of flowers on her.
Yeah, she was still alive, wasn't she?
Well, until we saw it. Yeah.
Midsummer, yeah.
What was in that bear? That's what I want to know.
Her boyfriend.
Yeah, but what was in him?
His insides and evil.
And potpourri.
Potpourri, yeah. The lad from Son of Rambo is all hollowed out and full of potpourri.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, so he is.
This is getting way off topic, but...
Yeah. He does know all the words to know Scrubs, doesn't he? So,
yeah.
There is that.
I quite liked Midsummer, but it could have been a bit shorter.
I think it's probably for teenage girls. I think teenage girls or someone that's just had a bereavement and is struggling with their own mental health, it's probably quite good for them. But I'm also not a 20-year-old girl, as much as I pretend to be on the internet.
I was going to say, Saucy Knockers 16. Yeah. I don't know. That old lad getting his head mashed in with a big mallet always makes me chuckle, but that's just me.
Yeah, maybe I need to revisit it. We revisited the Vivitch recently, and that's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun. There's loads going on there, and not just because it's got Finchy from The Office.
The Office, in it? Yeah, it does. Yeah. Anyway, let's enough. That's not our Halloween recommendations. The film we are covering this week, brought to us by Mr. Mark Plant, because he's taking full fucking responsibility for this. 1995's Monster Mash the movie. Yes, you heard it correct, boys and girls. That song that plays every fucking Halloween and has made, what's he called? The fucking guy?
Bobby
Pickett. Yeah. Has kept him in cocaine and hookers for years. There is a film co-written by him, and it is the most insane piece of film I've ever seen.
I've got to be honest, the best thing about this was I found out that Bobby Pickett's dead. So there is that.
Is he?
He died in 2007 at the age of 69.
Nice.
Oh.
There you go. Sorry, James, taking James' facts. But I picked this.
Not one of them. Don't worry.
I'm gonna put it out early doors. Why I picked this? I wanted something that was a little bit spoopy, but also came into the last Hallmark of Greatness episode, and this has Candice Cameron in it. as is she Mary? Is she Juliet? I couldn't quite figure it out. I didn't really know where it was going.
I've put it down
she's labelled as
Mary.
both.
Yeah, she was introduced as Juliet at the start, and then they never stick with it. So
No, they don't.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff they don't stick with. They just forget halfway through.
Well, like, it actually being a film, they don't stick with that at any point.
It does go a bit Rocky Horror, and like everyone just goes off the rails at one point, doesn't it?
It goes a bit Rocky Horror, underselling it somewhat there, Joseph. Yeah.
But before we get to the actual meat and potatoes of this film, James, fire up the Halloween synopsis, Matron.
Yeah, so the plot generator is fed by you, our esteemed audience, and it's gone all spooky this one. It's decided that it's going to be called The Horrifying Story Corpse of Murder. It's really committed to it.
That sounds like one of those things on the Horror Channel at like 2 in the morning.
It's what happens when you punch a load of adjectives into Excel. Doreen Monster is an isolated...
An isolated monster?
It's done, that's it.
Even better, Doreen Monster is an isolated dressage coach who finds herself in a bet to live in a show home for 10 years, or else she will be assailed by gnomes. As events ensue, Doreen becomes acquainted with Clive Mash, a geriatrician
Who also runs a pie and mash shop, because if he doesn't...
who can pop a wheelie no problemo. Events take a turn...
Stop it, I'm going to die.
Events take a turn when a radical new pope is elected and the pair must work together. Will they restore the status quo along with the band Status Quo? Perhaps.
Was it me who put Pop in a wheelie? No, bro. It feels like one of mine. Oh, that's so much better than the actual synopsis for this film, which I think undersells it massively. 2 teenagers get trapped in a house with Dr. Frankenstein, who wants to transfer one of their brains into his creature. So much more happens in this film than that.
There's some pretty dark material covered in this
There's
film.
some casual racism and like mental health issues thrown around the place. And there's also
pedophilia at one bit as well.
Yeah, my point is,
everything.
how old are they supposed to be?
Well, I did look this up for my own peace of mind, and Candice Cameron, as she was then, was 19 when this was filmed, so that sets my heart at rest.
Oh no, I don't mean like they were going to like sex off children in a film. Like, how old were the characters supposed to be? Because I thought they were supposed to be 16, 17, because that's when you can drive in America.
He's at university, doesn't he? So he needs to be around 18.
28, yeah, 19,
Yeah, at the very earliest 18.
Right. That makes me feel slightly less awkward about the whole thing now then, but even so.
I couldn't feel any less awkward about this film, I'll be honest.
That's because you feel responsible. I don't feel responsible for any of this.
Like I said, I enjoyed it.
Some parts of it.
I probably will rewatch it at next Halloween.
Maybe, next but one.
Right, every other one, yeah.
If I could find a version that would been specifically formatted to match my TV, then I would buy it and I would watch it every year.
Well, let's get into it. I mean, we are watching this off YouTube, so
yeah.
But it does open with the appropriate title card of "This film has been was it edited?
Formatted to match your TV.
It has not.
My 1996 4:3 TV with video inbuilt. Yeah, okay.
I think even then it would have been like a tiny screen in the middle, like when they ported Doom to like the to the Jaguar, and it was just like this big in the middle.
So, yeah, Skyrim on a Samsung fridge.
And then we get a list of people who are in this film.
Right, before we do actors, can I do the producer? I absolutely lost my shit when I saw produced by Joel Cohen. I was like, no, surely not. And no, surely not. It's not that Joel Cohen, the other Joel Cohen, who wrote the story for Skylanders Spyro's Adventure. There you go. There you go. That's it. That's the end of my James facts.
That's his magnum opus, that though, isn't it? But it's also like it's co-written by Bobby Pickett, based on the play I'm Sorry, Mother, the Bridge is Out, or something.
Yeah. Mother,
why
the
you
bridge is
had
That feels like
very much like an Alan Bennett play.
a music hall sing-along song. Oh, Mother, the Bridge is out. Where's my washboard, Mother? Which is a song in this. But it's also is it like it was funded by
ISIS.
Oh, there was other questionable names on there on the things.
This does strike me as the kind of film that you would fly into the Twin Towers 9/11. It's the only way it could be any worse.
I mean, I was more taken by the fact that all the credits come up as it's like the timestamp stuff on like a homemade camcorder. It's
The
like
whole-
that font, isn't it?
Yeah, it is that font. It feels very much like the Me and the Boys Barbecue 09. Yeah.
Like one of the home movies from Sinister.
Yes. I thought you were going to say one of the home movies from the Home Movie Channel back in the day.
Anyway, we're introduced to Mary and Scott, who are a teenage couple, who are either on their way from or to a party.
They're on the way to a big boys party because
right, okay.
Scott doesn't want to go where there's lame punch and the same music.
And plastic pumpkins.
Yeah.
Specifically.
That's what he says. So they're going to a proper adults party. Not like that.
Car keys.
Car keys
Car keys in a pumpkin.
in the pumpkin. You've got all of October to fill it up. And they're driving along, and they have like a small argument about like just teenage shit while they're doing good pretend driving.
Yeah.
And at this point, I was like, oh, this feels like we're just going to get the shit Rocky Horror, doesn't it?
I have written here, there's a light over at the Frankenstein house.
Which literally happens. Their
Yes.
car breaks down for some reason.
I don't know. The car breaks down. There's a storm. The bridge is out. They also
No, the bridge isn't out yet.
No, they go across the bridge, yes.
It just feels like at this point there's a litany of reasons that causes them to dash for the nearest creepy mansion.
Well, they're right outside it. Their car breaks down. They go, they must have a phone. There's a light on. And I was just waiting for Richard O'Brien to be like, darkness! It never happens because, to be fair, some of the songs in this are all right.
Yeah.
And some of them are absolute Spanish shite.
Oh, I wonder if you can pick which ones were in the original musical and which ones were added in the 90s.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, we'll play that later on, James. That'll be a fun quiz for later on. They cross over this very sort of weak-looking bridge into this castle, knock on the door, and we're introduced to possibly the most annoying character in this sea of annoying characters. Igor.
Subtitles kept referring him to Eagle throughout this.
Yes, yeah.
That's Eagle Claw. That's better. And he's like, he thinks they've come to deliver bodies. That's the joke.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we need to. Is there anybody home? We just want your phone. I'm going to keep doing Rocky
Yes, I think
Horror Quiz all the way through it.
Much better film. Yeah.
And he's like, no, there's no one here. Go away. And then it starts bucketing it down with rain, and they're like, look, we can't go anywhere. And I'm like, this is the entitlement of people. We've broke down, and it's your job to help fix
we
it.
broke down on your land. You sort it.
Fuck you. No, shut the door. Release the hounds. Yeah.
They've got one. Yeah.
Sort of. Don't. And then we are introduced to Bobby Pickett. Booked himself strong here, hasn't he?
No, I've written here, and I'm going through this in real time. The guy playing Frankenstein basically doing an impression of the guy from the song. Because I didn't realise at the time it is the guy from the song.
Yes.
How's he going to keep this up for 80 minutes? Now, spoilers, he fucking doesn't.
He's gonna say the word
and
picture
drops.
in a weird way. That's what he's gonna do.
Yes.
He's also got no control over his eyebrows. They just keep going like this all the way through it. And then,
There's another interesting bit about this, in that Scott says, "Oh, Frankenstein of the Transylvanian Frankenstein," and he says, "No, of the Hyannisport Frankenstein."
No, it's the other way around, isn't it? Is
No,
it not
no.
the other way? Oh, it's
So
that.
he-
No, because that's basically a fucking that's a rip-off of Young Frankenstein.
Oh,
That's
right, okay.
because it's the
So
Frankenstein thing.
Frankenstein,
Yeah.
Well, I was going down a different route with this because Hyannisport is an exclusive town in Massachusetts where Bobby Pickett is from, and it's home to the Kennedy compound, which is now like a national monument. Now, I think he's done a lot of solid thinking about the Kennedys throughout his long decades because
There's a lot of Kennedy's jokes
There's
in
a
here.
lot of
There
Kennedy
is.
stuff in here.
Vote Quimby.
On the day that the drummer from the Dead Kennedys died as well.
Oh, right.
Make of that what you will. Is it
Coincidence,
foreshadowing?
John.
Yeah.
It's coincidence.
I'm not saying the ghost of Bobby Pickett pushed him down the stairs.
He fell down the stairs.
No, he tripped and banged his head and complications due to that. Keep it light.
He was pushed by the police. Okay.
He was black, so yeah. Here we go.
Frankenstein says that the night is young and that sort of acting, and then he introduces the couple to a room that contains Count Dracula, Natasha Nasty Dracula, his wife, Wolfie's mum,
Who's there for some
3
reason.
hookers.
Now, I think they're supposed to be the brides of Dracula.
Yeah.
Like in the not the good, but like the Bram Stoker's Dracula with Gary Oldman.
Oh, needs more Monica Bellucci, in my
With
opinion.
more Monica Bellucci boobies, yes.
Yeah.
But these are not Monica Bellucci. These look like 3 women they've gone, do you want to sit in your pants and do bad dancing?
Yeah.
We can pay you in cash or crack.
More like Monica from Friends, Monica that got the president's jizz on her dress, and another woman
Because
called
that
Monica.
comes up as well.
It does come up. I mean, this film gets dated to fuck at every single scene.
Oh, it's because it's full of really dated, even for 1995, dated references.
Yeah, references that were like 10 years old and older.
Apparently, the musical stage play it's based on was 30 years old at this point.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So, I don't know whether they didn't update some jokes or update some jokes.
No, I think they did. I think they just overdid it. So they were like, oh, this sounds too 60s. Let's get rid of the JFK references. Let's get in the Bobby Kennedy references instead.
Yeah, because he's only been dead 20 years.
No, Teddy Kennedy.
Teddy Kennedy.
Early 2000s. I don't know
yes,
exactly when.
he pretends to make a phone call, I believe.
Yes.
Or maybe he does.
No, he does actually make
he
makes a phone call, and then someone unplugs the...
Yeah, one of the hookers just yanks the wire out of the wall. As though
okay.
They wouldn't
Yes,
be able
again,
to see
and
that.
he makes the gag again, doesn't he? Of no, not the Transylvania Frankenstein.
Yeah.
But why Frankenstein isn't from Transylvania, as we know. Frankenstein was he Swiss
I believe
or Austrian?
So. Yeah.
Yeah, famous.
Dracula is from Transylvania.
Yeah, exactly. Which is but the whole thing here is all of a sudden we hear that the bridge has been washed out.
Well, there is like a big crash, isn't there?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, the bridge is gone, mother.
Yeah, Igor goes to the door and he gets some water splashed in his face. You see, it's stuff
it's
like that I thought was actually it's not TV good, it's not film good, but it's pantomime good, and I was quite prepared for that.
It should have known its lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it had stuck to one thing, it would have been good. Like I laughed at the thing because it was clearly a guy with a cup of water throwing it through a gap in a door.
If this was a community project.
That's what it feels like. It feels like someone's A-level like final piece for media studies. But he comes back in and says, "Oh no, mother, the bridge is gone." And then we proceed to get to get the first song, and I think possibly the best song.
Yeah,
I've written here, "Oh goody, a song," not realizing that it's a quote-unquote musical.
It's our first musical.
Yeah, I quite liked it. Everyone gets a solo.
It actually does make a good sort of structure to the film because you're like,
it's like an
I only need to get
overture.
through one more of these.
It's like an overture because it introduces you to all of these characters who you've no idea who they are. Who's Dracula? Never heard of him. Who's the Wolfman? Never heard of them. Who's this other British woman? For some reason, there's that.
And why isn't she flying through space in a big square with the other 2 people from Krypton?
Is that her?
Yes.
It's Ursa. Yeah, it's Ursa.
Fuck me with us.
Because I sat watching it and going, there's something really strangely foxy and familiar about this woman.
Because all the way
she's
through it.
very foxy. She's very kind of like, she's very, very British posh foxy, which I kind of like that because I know I'm not supposed to like that because I'm common.
Yeah.
Like I should be ringing out my cloth cap and going, "Hey, missus, I'll come up to the big house tonight if thou wants."
And that's how the class system works in this country.
Exactly right.
I'll see you in top field tonight.
Oh, the drainage, missus, the drainage.
But everyone gets a song, and it basically explains sort of who they are in this song and the fact that the bridge is out.
And who they are people that are not remotely singing those words in time.
No. And why is there only one bridge out of town? Is this Springfield? It's a testament to the never give up and never think things through.
Is it like their own personal sort of moat thing?
I believe because it's a castle. It's because it's Frankenstein's castle. It only has one moat bridge in and out, which seems impractical at best. You'd have a servant's bridge.
Somewhere for Frau Blucher to go up and down the town. Yeah.
But they do this song, and they're like, "Oh, you'll have to. The bridge is out. You'll have to stay the night."
And there's a bit then where they go, "Oh, I guess we'll have to spend the night," and I'm like, "The fucking song! You just had the song! Stop saying have to spend the night."
Yeah, that's one of my favourite quotes from this.
This was the thing that confused me as well, was that like the three brides of Dracula act as a sort of Greek chorus, but like not.
But they don't. Yeah, they're meant to.
You know, like in Little Shop of Horrors, where like you've got
I love those
good,
things.
yeah, you've got those good like chorus there, and then you've got these three women who look like they've been trafficked in. Like
I do have to point out at this bit that they were actual dancers, and I think one of them had been on.
Were they?
Is it Dancing
What
with the
Pan's
Stars
fucking
or something?
people? What?
Yeah,
Fucking Lexington.
It's a reference for the kids.
Everyone in this is horny as fuck.
It's a horny film.
Dracula's making a move on Mary, the young girl. The Countess, meanwhile, Ursa, she's manhandling Scott. The dancers are doing some kind of crazy line dancing down the middle. And there's Wolfie, who's like he's supposed to be another teenager, and his mum who's worrying about
His
him
mum's
turning
there
into
for
a
some
werewolf.
reason. Yeah, because it's a full moon tonight as well.
She's
so
brought
like,
him along so the doctor cure him. So.
yeah, because it's a full moon, so this is like everyone's monster powers are at their highest or something.
Possibly.
Let's
Put
say,
more
yeah.
thought into it than they did.
Yeah, I've also just looked up, and the person that played Wolfie's mother is called Mink Stole.
She is.
Yes.
A famous comedian.
Jesus.
Of the time, yeah.
I've not heard of her.
Music hall / comedian, yeah.
Where's me washboard?
I think she's like an ordained minister or something like that now. Yeah, there you go.
I believe they use her skin to make robes for judges, yeah. That's a reference. And then that's like we get this first dance number out of the way, and it's like okay. And
Mary's
then, like,
mad at Scott because he's eyeing the hookers. I'm going to keep calling him that. I know they're not, but yeah. And Wolfie flags down Dr. Frankenstein because of his hairy hands, and he could well have said, "Well, I told you not to look at those mags."
he could have got Father Jack's priest disease, couldn't he? But yeah, they want to increase his dose to try and combat his
Condition.
lupine condition.
Mary's like rooting through the stuff. She says, "Where did you get the old bag?" And Dr. Frankenstein said, "She was referred by an associate." It's those kind of things.
It's
that keep
okay.
coming back.
Yeah, it's okay,
It is.
that one.
It is okay.
Yeah,
Well, it was such a setup that he handed her a bag, and then she went, "Well, oh, come on."
yeah, I know, yeah.
At that point, it should have cut to like a duck going, yeah. The corner line.
Igor at some point plays the bagpipes while sort of squeezing his hump as well.
Yeah, I didn't get what that was about.
Yeah.
I think that
Don't know.
did that not lead us into the song?
Yeah, but before that, there's the first of the really terrible. In fact, I might have missed one, but the first of what I caught as the terrible film references of him going, "I am not an animal, I'm a human being," and I've written,
I
fuck off."
skipped over most of those, to be honest.
There is a lot of those.
There's
There's
a lot of
There's
that.
literally a bit later on where they don't even like pretend to hide it as a thing.
Oh, God, where he just does like three
Streetcar,
references.
Again,
Yeah.
Village Hall production, isn't it?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, but
absolutely.
if they're doing that, I want a big pantomime horse with a jizzing cock. That's. You didn't see
Anyway.
that in action, listeners.
Put a hat on your big horse cock with your purview. Anyway,
But and so he leads them out, and he's like, "You'll have to spend the night here." And then like a whole series of bullshit happens.
there's a rat-ta-ta-ta-ta dancing bit, which is basically putting on the Ritz from Young Frankenstein?
Yeah.
Oh, before
right, so,
that,
yeah,
we
they
get
get-
all them putting them in the rooms.
Yeah, the
Oh,
point
yeah.
is that they're going to drug them and send them, they're going to go to bed. They're going to come back down for dinner when they're going to get drugged.
So,
Essentially, at some point, they're going to get drugged, and then this horrible experiment.
They're
the
going to
plot-
mix their brains up.
The plot is they're going to put, from what I understood, because Igor is in love with Mary, but Dr. Frankenstein wants to put Scott's brain into his monster,
Yes.
which has a brain and can function, but can only speak in mime and cliche 95 references. And then he's going to put the monster's brain into Scott's body.
Yeah, what he calls
Yeah.
a medical round robin, which I thought was actually...
It's a pretty fun joke.
It's a good one.
Yeah, okay.
Just like it just feels like there should have been a brunch after all of these jokes because they're very. It feels like it was set up for a music hall sort of thing. It's like
It was, yeah. So they've adapted it.
if the
and
Marx
ruined
Brothers
it.
did this on stage, I'd have pissed my pants. Like,
So they get shoveled into the blue room for
Blue
Scott.
Room. This is where the old master died. Dr. Frankenstein's father. He died in that bed.
Oh,
How long
when did
ago
that
was
happen?
that? About 2:30.
Hey.
Like I said,
Yeah, must try harder.
like when I go and visit like my
Is that
wife's
the Lilliput
family.
Man?
No, when I go visit my wife's family, I have to watch a lot of like Hindi soaps and stuff like that. But they have comedy shows. But the thing is, you know where the jokes are, even though I don't speak it like well, because they have a "Mwah" or a boing noise after every joke. So it's very easy to keep track of where you should be laughing. Like this could have done with that because it felt like, it should have been done in front of a live audience on the moon.
In the sewers.
Yeah, where there's no atmosphere because.
We do get a good. Just something that genuinely made me laugh is that Igor deposits Mary at the door, won't sort of leave. He does this whole self-pity thing about not being loved, and Mary says, "Well, I'm sure you could, find a woman that get to know the real you that'd look past the hump." No thanks.
Thanks. Yeah.
I thought. Well,
3 out of 10.
I thought that was funny, but then I thought it's not appropriate if this is because I didn't know she was 19 at this point.
I
was
thought
like,
they were high schoolers, yeah.
yeah.
But, because she looks very young in this as well. I thought it was Anna Chomsky from My Girl at first. And then I thought it was Topanga from Boy Meets World for a while.
She's got a Topanga look about her, yeah.
But yeah.
And then this leads into the next song.
Is this my hunch?
See my hunch? No.
No,
Play your hunch. Which
yeah, you know that well-known phrase? It's like a fucking catchphrase, Clue, that, isn't it? Like, is it play your hunch? Yeah, you've won the big money round.
Snake charmer.
It's Columbo. If you don't remember that one, that's where Roy Walker just goes completely rogue, and the answer is something like "too many birds in the bush," and he just goes Columbo for no reason.
No, I thought it was an episode of your other podcast where Walker went rogue. Yeah, all right.
If you want to listen to that one, listen to the episode with Mark on it. I can't remember which one it is, but yeah.
Celebrities.
Yes.
it's this whole music hall number that's done on the stairs of this place. You think of all the hunchbacks in history: Quasimodo, Richard III, and Richard Nixon. And I quite liked the Richard Nixon one because it made me feel like it was slightly less Republican.
Well, I was trying to think: are there any other famous hunchbacks? And to be fair, Richard III wasn't anyway. It was just like a defamation.
Nixon also isn't a hunchback.
Yeah, but he's portrayed. I'm not, with the shoulders hunched, I guess. But
It's just a bad cunt, you know.
Yes. Come on, you filthy hippies! Trying to meet you halfway here. Yeah, he does, again, like this song isn't bad.
No, it's got strong Troll Toll vibes, is what I put.
It does have Troll Toll vibes, yeah. And he comes downstairs, and then the prostitutes appear, and they do this kind of choreographed but poorly top hat and cane routine.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because he tries to do a bit of a tap dance on the steps, but he just doesn't. He just stamps up and down on the steps. I could do that.
I think he says, "I'll be back in a second," and then just goes up and down the steps. Okay. Yeah, that's like me tap dancing. Yeah, I fucking hate tap dancing anyway. It's the most useless skill. When are you ever going to need to tap dance?
Well, I feel like I need to argue the point on that, but I can't bother.
Plumbers, in it. If you're a plumber.
Right.
No, moving on.
But yes, he plays a fake trumpet at the end on his stick as well, on his cane. Yep. for no reason.
It didn't help for me.
But they've locked both Scott and Mary in their rooms.
Yeah.
Until he calls for dinner, which gives us enough time for a load of shenanigans to happen.
Yeah, Dr. Frankenstein turns up again, and he introduces the monster, big green Frankenstein monster thing. He berates Igor, and he says, "Does the name Kevorkian mean anything to you?" And it didn't mean anything to me. I wondered if you two had heard of it.
No, I didn't do any research.
He was an advocate of assisted suicide who unfairly earned the name Dr. Death from the gutter press around this time.
I've heard the
That's
name
them
of
sort of like-
Kevorkian.
Yeah, Rachel's going to go mad at me because she's going to listen to this and go, "Of course it's Kevorkian, you dick," because she's a middle-class white woman and she's obsessed with middle-class white women being murdered. So, fine.
And Mark is now ringing his flat cap.
Oh, sorry, missus. Oh, sorry, missus.
Having to go up to the big house for his punishment. Gruel and water. And
then we get the bit with the laboratory with Elvis's manager Hathaway.
Right.
The Norbert of this film.
What?
Sir, who is Hathaway? Hathaway appears, and immediately the fucking soundtrack of Shaft happens.
Yes. Racist jive music.
I've got to be honest, I recognise this guy from one thing and one thing only, and he's the bloke that's washing the windscreen in Airplane on the plane.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
That's what this guy's in that I know
didn't
of.
Look him up. I didn't see anything remotely like that. In fact, he's incredibly right-wing himself.
Is he?
It was just
That's
unfunny,
disappointing.
so I just didn't pursue it.
Okay.
But yeah, he sort of... I would say he's the Norbert of this film. He
comes
sort
in
of
looking
gets
like
shapes,
if you ordered
doesn't
Huggy
have
Bear
anything.
off Wish. Yeah.
He wants to bring back Elvis, who's mummified in a sarcophagus, and then comes out to some, what I've put is ill-chosen catchphrase style music. Is it Play the Hunch?
So,
Columbo! Right, I will say, throughout this entire film, there is this strange music in the background that reminded me of Cannibal the Musical.
oh yes,
Yeah, all
I
the
got
way
that.
through it. It's just because it's just like one person playing it on an electronic keyboard, and I was like, "This is after Cannibal, I think." Let me just
Arguably, yeah. I think Cannibal was 94, wasn't it?
93.
93.
But it feels like that sort of thing because it's like, in Hallmark films they'll have that all the way through the background of it. But with this, and there's bits of it where it's like proper music but slightly off, so they don't have to pay rights for it.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a number of issues I've got with this Elvis character. First of all, not enough of him. I thought something was going to happen here, and it's a one fucking drop gag. And then secondly, to upset Elvis and get him back in his sarcophagus, they shout Robert Goulet at him, right?
Yeah.
Now, Robert Goulet, I really only know from two things. One, he did a lot at Vegas, and that's the joke. And secondly, your manager says to get bent. Vera said that?
Yes.
Is also my other favourite.
Yeah. Also, I think we'll get to that when we get to how they get rid of Hathaway. What is love? Don't hurt me no more.
If you don't hurt me.
Yeah, Dr. Frankenstein says, "Lose the king, he sticks out like a sore thumb."
Oh.
And Elvis grunts and lifts up his thumb. And he makes the sound like the dad being decapitated in Fatal Deviation. It's that noise.
Yeah.
It was really weird. And then they just cut straight to the next song in this film. On a night like this, where Scott and Mary are talking to one another in their respect rooms through an air vent.
Again, right, there was fun bits in this, I thought. She says to him, they're talking, and they're like, oh, okay, well, like, I quite like you. And she says, well, I've got skeletons in my closet. And he goes, so have I. I had to French kiss my English teacher, Mr. Johnson, or something.
Yeah.
Higgins, I think you'll find.
Yeah. And I was like, that's quite a funny joke. A bit weird, but And then she goes, "No, in my closet there's an actual skeleton with skulls and bones," and I was like, "That's fun. That's a fun joke." Like,
yeah, it was kind of. This is very obviously the song that's been shoehorned in here for the 90s. It's a 90s dross hit.
This is their Somewhere Out There.
Yeah. I've written here. It's a song that didn't get into Aladdin.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
well,
yeah.
yeah. It's kind of got
American
Disney,
Tail,
like,
yeah.
vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the middle of it, though,
Clearly
Mary
not them
combs
singing
her hair,
either.
combs her hair wistfully. Scott, meanwhile, fucks around with an IV drip feed.
Yeah, dancing with it. Yeah.
He then, sort of like lays on a bed. She desecrates a corpse in a closet that she's just found. But it was only like tangentially weird. They didn't go out of their way to make it sort of creepy, like a creep take on.
No.
Yeah.
But this was, in the other songs, like See My Hump and The Bridger's Godmother, you could tell it was them singing, because it wasn't really singing, was it? Yeah. This, it's clearly like Peebo Bryson and fucking, like,
yeah,
it's proper people they've got into it. The original cast, the Broadway cast of The Bridger's Godmother, you have to stop
But no,
over.
this is one that wasn't in the original Broadway
What?
version.
Oh, that's
They
astonishing.
just shoehorn this in to make it relevant to the 90s kids.
I'm surprised there wasn't a rap in it then.
I was about to say that. And I'm very glad that they didn't pursue that with a particular character.
Oh, mate.
Yeah,
Bobby Pickett would fucking love it. Would have given his right bollock to put a rap in this. Yeah. And then in my lab, I saw some things, and my eyebrows fell off, and other things. Yeah, shit up.
Is this the bit where there's very quickly from one to the other a Madonna gag, like a Virgin Madonna gag in 1995, closely followed by a Soon Yi gag?
Yes.
And I've written too Soon Yi.
This is
funnier than it.
This is where Frankenstein is talking to Dracula.
Yeah.
And he's saying, "Oh, I need the blood of a virgin." And he says, like, well, okay, once I've done all my brain transference, you can have the body of the boy because he's a virgin. And Dracula says, there's no virgins in Transylvania, that's the problem. To which Frankenstein wittily retorts, you shouldn't have let Madonna move there.
That's the one.
Hey.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Even in 95, like, I'm going to have to look up when fucking In Bed with Madonna came out now, aren't I?
Oh, I think it was the 80s, though, wasn't it? It's
very early. I think
91,
92.
all right.
91.
Again, it's not hitting these things on the fucking zeitgeist of the
Not
popularity,
really,
though, is it? Like, it's,
Not really, no.
and I think by, and then, I can't remember where the Sun Yi joke comes in. But,
no, don't they follow that up with like a racist chopstick thing?
Oh, there is that. Then as soon as he goes, yeah, it is that.
Jesus.
Yeah,
it's just like every moment where you think, I'm going to like this film, then it just does that.
Pulls the rug out from under you.
It does, yeah. Yeah, keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, so
this is the bit where... Oh, sorry, yeah, the Count and Countess are falling out over the Count's Infidelitas bit.
Oh,
Because this is the other bit where it does that.
This is the bit where I was like, oh, I don't think I want to watch the rest of this now.
Yeah, go on.
Because he says, every time I was with those young girls, I was thinking of you. Oh, no, and she goes, well, whatever. All those young prepubescent girls.
Yeah.
And then she's like, stop it. And then he goes, all those young firm-bottomed and all this sort of stuff. And I was like, stop.
Yeah,
like,
and it does this 3 times.
I thought,
film.
Dracula was like young ladies, but like Monica Bellucci.
Prepubescent.
Yeah. The prepubescent, and then like the hard-bodied, firmed buttock or something he said, and I was like, mate, did you not read this script and go, no, could we change this, please?
Yeah.
Like, and then I was like 95. I guess it's still kind of, but yeah, that was the bit that
prepubescent. No, that's
this was the bit that made me feel the most uncomfortable in a film. That I was fairly unhappy all the way through.
He then launches into Eternity Blues.
Oh, fucking hell. Someone's pressed the blues button on a Casio keyboard.
Why is Elvis not doing the song about blues?
Because he's too busy doing his Mr. Chips song, isn't he?
True, yeah.
What's he doing there, Mr. Elvis? Possibly the worst song in the film?
It's I don't know.
It's just 12 bar. It's just 12 bar blues. Yeah. And you've got Dracula there. You could have done so much better stuff.
Yeah, I guess so. It does have a good line in it, which is the dancers come out and say, why don't you tie a stake to your wood? And he says, nah, I tried that before, didn't do any good. So I thought, it's fine. It's
I don't get it.
I think it's
A stake to your wood, to your penis.
Oh!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, it still doesn't work. It doesn't work on any level.
No, I see, because I thought... I got the penis
Stake could
part.
kill him. Yeah.
But then I thought, like, a T-bone steak.
So,
I
Is
was
it
like,
the
mind
point?
goes,
Yeah, no, I
isn't
think
it?
that is the joke. It just doesn't work.
Well, there's too many variables in the joke, then.
I think it's just
Yeah.
it's just a Viagra joke, isn't it? And,
In
Oh, is
95,
it?
That didn't.
Oh, I think
Viagra
so.
wasn't available in '95. No,
Sure it
2000s-ish. No.
well, anyway.
I mean,
And it's the fact that the prostitutes come out singing it as well. And it's just, yeah. So then Mary and Scott go down to dinner. They've agreed between them that they're going to try and escape when it's dark, when everyone's powers are definitely going to be at the most diminished.
they don't know that they're monsters because they're fucking idiots.
No, they don't. They just want to leave. They go down to dinner.
The bridge is out, mother.
They go down, yeah, I don't know how they reckon they're going to get around that.
It wasn't a
Maybe they
particularly
think
long
everyone's
bridge. They
fine.
could probably jump over that little stream.
The Count introduces his wife. He says,
Oh, we
Yeah.
get a good. Sorry, before that, we get a good sort of Mel Brooks joke. Actually,
go on.
Eagle comes up to get Mary and says, "The master wishes to invite you downstairs for some horse
Horse
Devourers.
devourers." And she goes, "Don't you mean hors d'oeuvres?" And he goes, "You haven't met the cook." And I was like, "That's a fucking
Yeah,
joke."
that's solid. That's solid.
Yeah, that's a Mel Brooks joke.
Because there's another one. When she's introduced to the Count, he says, "May I introduce you to my wife? She's a Count, but she spells it differently."
Yeah.
I thought,
Yeah, that was okay.
that's fine. Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah.
Like,
That was okay.
there's moments of brilliance, and I think they
I
basically.
wouldn't go with brilliance, but yeah, it kept me sniggering throughout.
I think Bobby Pickett got like the first draft script of Young Frankenstein and went through the actual film and took the jokes they didn't use and were like, "I'm fucking quids in here, sunshine," with his eyebrows. Yeah. And
This
the
is
plan-
on the subject of Bobby Pickett. This is the point where his voice goes all the brainy gremlin from Gremlins 2. All we want is we want to be appreciated. We want an opportunity to look at this fellow here. He's got no brains.
Yeah, he goes
like
from
that.
Transylvania to very British.
Yeah.
The plan is, though, to put slumber powder in the special chalices to give to
I mean, that's what I
Scott.
call it as well.
I mean, yeah, okay.
I've just watched Dharma as well. It's terrible.
Oh, no,
But
why?
yeah.
Why? Don't give them money.
It could be worse. I just watched Dharma and Greg.
Get down off that table, Dharma. But yeah, it's to give them the slumber powder out in the special cups at the feast that they're having for some reason. Again, none of this makes sense. Like,
I think it's
the
just
more-
all these people are here. They've got nowhere else to go. Then they should.
At
have,
least
you know,
in
a big
Rocky
dinner.
Horror, they were seeing Rocky. Like, you know what I mean? In this, it just feels like Van Helsing, where they just put all the monsters in one room for no reason.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And they're not really monsters.
well, Dracula is, isn't he? He's
Who?
Dracula.
Oh, him.
Yeah,
You couldn't be
Dracula.
You couldn't be more Dracula about that.
Dracula, the vampire man, the biting boy.
Oh, the Bitey boy.
Yeah, Wolfman as well. Like, is it Wolfman, Wolf boy? Why is his mum there? Didn't
Wolfie.
understand that.
I don't think
Why,
his
why
mum
is it
has a
he
name
just
either.
sideburns? He basically is Mr. Wilkes and nothing
He's
else.
slowly turning into Amos. Yeah. For another Emmerdale Farm reference there, everyone. Hitting these things at the peak of their height. But yeah, they go to this meal, and it gets like, oh no, that's just it smells nice. That's just the garlic in the rice, and Dracula spits it all out.
Oh,
Just putting
who puts
garlic in
garlic in
rice.
rice?
Oh, garlic rice, nice. That rhymes unintentionally.
Ah.
No, like if you
yeah.
cut your garlic long ways and fry it off then with some rice, oh, it's lovely. Yeah.
Are you doing it in prison using a razor blade? Listening to I don't know old show tunes.
Me, Tommy Spaghetti's, Jimmy Potatoes,
Potatoes.
and
Dr.
Tight Mouth Larry.
He's going on about brain transplants.
Say, Scott,
Dracula says he doesn't want wine. He wants a Virgin Mary, and then starts touching her leg under the table.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Mary doesn't look offended. She just looks like she wants to die in that moment.
Yeah.
No,
it made me
he
uncomfortable.
rubs her foot, and then Nasty, Countess Nasty. That's what she referred to herself. My
Yeah.
name's Countess Natasha. You can call me Nasty. And I was like, I like you. I think that might have been the bit that I was like, I know her from something. Yeah. She says something to Scott about like firm meat or something, and squeezes it leg, and at that point I was like, oh, this feels... I hope they were stunt legs.
I don't think they were.
I hope they were
Hathaway-
people of equal age as legs in special trousers.
Hathaway gives a vial of sweat in a bottle as well. Elvis's sweat.
Elvis's sweat, it goes for $8.99 in Graceland. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, Scott says to Dr. Frankenstein, when they finally award you the Nobel Prize, what are you going to say in front of the Academy?
It's the Monster Mash. It's the Monster Mash. It's the time to do the fucking song.
But we're not doing the song here. We're going to play the record, and I'm going to forget the words partway through as I'm miming to it.
Yeah.
It's the one song he's done. Like, you would know the fucking words, wouldn't you? Like,
It's the best song in the film, though, and it's so good that they do it
Is
twice,
it?
just for good
Is it?
measure.
Oh yeah, they do. Like at the end, instead of doing like the credits and things like that, they just go through the film again to the Monster Mash. And I really wish we'd just been able to watch that bit and do a podcast on that.
Pick our own film up from those scenes.
At first, I thought it was going to be a blooper reel, and I was really disappointed.
Yeah,
Mate, this is the blooper reel. This is painfully awkward, this bit, because the prostitutes appear. They've been serving them. At some point, Igor serves some very wet-looking potatoes to Mary and says, "You smell lovely," which I don't like.
Jimmy potatoes.
Little wet Jimmy potatoes. And this fucking song, right? And I hate this song so much, just because it's the one Halloween song that everyone puts on, and like it's fine, but it's like is it Superstore, like surfboarding Dracula or whatever?
Yeah.
What does it even mean anymore?
It's like Santa's Super Sleigh.
Yeah, it's like this. I have a fucking box set CD of 1950s and 60s rock and roll horror songs that are infinitely better than this. Like, and they're shit, but they're better than this, Todd. And he's made a career out of this, having uncontrollable eyebrows, having one song that is pretty good, right, and being possibly a molester. He's dead now, so I can't.
he looks the type.
Oh, mate. I bet Candice fucking Cameron's got stuff to say about this.
He hasn't said a word about this.
Non-disclosure agreement, that.
Yeah.
That makes me all the more suspicious. Scott and Mary, at the end of this extended, let's sit at the table and listen to the monster.
Let's do this dance where we move our hands to the left and then to the right.
They leave feeling drowsy and they start falling out in the hall. She eventually faints into the arms of Dr. Frankenstein.
She does a good joke there as well. Igor,
go
do
for
you want to vomit? No, it's not vomit. Do you want to have a sit down? No, I have a sit down. No, I want to faint. Oh, that's it. Yeah, it's good.
It's good pantomime
it's
stuff.
It's the rule of three. Yeah. I mean, at this point, I was like, Igor's the fucking best thing in this.
No. But we are at the last 30 minutes. To be honest, I was looking at my watch throughout the rest of this.
I
Usually
paused
the 30-minute mark is like, it's hurtling towards the end. There's going to be explosions.
Nope, I paused
There's going to be a car crash that nobody planned. There's going to be all this stuff, but...
There'll be an old cowboy in a bat. I paused it as well and was like, there's still half an hour to go.
Yeah, it's
only an hour and 20. Yeah.
And to be honest, some of that was the Monster Mash all the way over again.
Yeah.
And then a very long camcorder credit scene. We get the laboratory now. The
Internet nails.
Yeah, it did have a very strong internet nails, right?
There's a little bit here where, for some reason, because he's not a character, Wolfman says, "Oh, men are such dogs," and I've just written "dinner dog." Some entirely un-Simpsons-y Simpsons reference.
No, because, again, Wolfman doesn't really get fleshed out as a character.
No, he's not a character at all.
Because he's there with his mum. His mum gets a song, and then he gets, a monologue where he just does dog noises for 5 minutes in a bit. Before we get to that, right, so she's passed out. Scott's tied up in a room. He passes out and gets tied up in a room, doesn't he? Where they're going to do the experiments on him.
I don't know if he's tied up yet.
See, at this point, like I said, because it was... I paused
This is the point where everyone
for a wee
becomes
and made a room.
dementia patient and just starts wandering around the house doing shit. Yeah. Because Nasty forces a way into the room, and he
Dracula goes to speak to Mary, And
Yeah.
he's like, she's asleep in bed. She's passed out in bed.
Yeah. He bites her as well.
But with her clothes on the wrong way round, because Igor had a go, didn't he? You know he did. You know what that hump's full of?
Oh,
Pasted her to that bed, he did.
is there a line here somewhere about a proud Mary, and then he does the whole thing? And I've written here, how much money did they spend on releasing these songs? Because there's so many
They
proper
only do it
songs.
I think Joe's got a point here. I think they only do it for like 2 seconds and then stop, and that's like the limit of the rights.
Yeah.
But even that
Yeah.
makes me never want to listen to Creedence ever again.
But yes. So
We found the car, but we don't hold a lot of hope for the Credence.
Dracula shows up into Mary's room, and he says he bites her, but he doesn't.
No,
I think he just
does
sniffs
bite her,
her.
but then there's no obvious
Blood or puncture wounds or anything.
no.
And I'm
She's
not
turned
saying
into a vampire.
a film of this level of budget, 74p. But no, he just puts her in a thrall.
Yeah.
Which I thought Dracula could just do with his eyes. He's got mesmerized, hasn't he? But now Mary's under his spell and keeps going, yes, master, and follows him around. And he has a secret lever in the room that opens to some other bit of the fucking castle for some reason.
This is where it becomes Clue, isn't it?
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
or hasn't got a fucking clue.
Who? More like.
Meanwhile, Natasha, she's in there with Scott in the next room, and she's like, don't waste a moment. Take me in your arms. Hold me. Crush me. Kiss me. And Scott says, what about your husband? And he says, you can kiss him later. And I thought, yes.
Okay.
It's won me
Yeah.
back, actually.
It's a
Yeah,
box joke, isn't it? Yeah.
And then Scott shoos her away and declares his undying love to Mary via the vent. And Hathaway is actually in the next room for no reason at all. And then he waits behind the door and gets squished behind the door as Scott goes in.
Yeah.
And there is no reason for any of it.
Yeah, nout comes of it.
Nope.
It's just Norbert.
It's just a fun pratfall. Don't worry about it.
Dracula's got Mary under his spell. Dr. Frankenstein realizes a pair are missing from their rooms. Nobody knows where anyone is. Scott turns up at this point, threatening him with the smallest candlestick that I've ever seen.
Also, he's holding it right near the end, so unless he's going to jam it into his face, it's not going to do a lot, is it? We've also missed the running joke of whenever Igor talks to Frankenstein, he ends the conversation with, is it "shut up, Igor," or because that pays off at the end, sort of a little bit, but doesn't. Oh, shut up!
Oh,
I think
shit!
he
Yeah,
says.
yeah. I'd kind of missed that, but you're right. It does.
Yeah, it doesn't really pay off, but I just remembered it now. It wasn't in my notes, but yeah. So Scott goes, okay, well, Frankenstein says, I'll give you my word, and all a man has is his word. And Scott, being a naive, floppy-haired fool, says, okay, then puts the candlestick down. Igor hands him a vase, which I thought was quite a fun bit. And he bashes him on the noggin, and he says, well, I guess I have nothing now. Oh, well, I can live with that. And I was like, oh, there's bits of this that are good.
Yeah, there's gags.
And Igor's got him, and he's like, okay, well, you carry him, and drops him. He's only joking, and shut up, and he hits him. And there's a lot of Igor-based violence all the way through this. And it just made me, it just reminded me of, the Black Book's Nutmeg!
Well, this isn't oak. Where did you get so much?
But yeah,
I could just spend the rest of this episode.
we'll just reenact that film, that episode.
Mother finds the monster and sets him free because she wants Dr. Frankenstein to treat her son. So that's going on now. And then she does her bit, which is things a mother goes through.
Yeah. Is this the one that's like a Spanish flamenco-y
So
song?
I thought of it as like a music hall bit, but
Yeah.
I was just waiting for it to be over. To be honest,
it
wasn't anything wrong with her delivery of it. She really went in to act it, but it's just unnecessary.
Yeah,
I didn't care.
it's a non-character singing about a non-character.
Yeah.
It's you're never gonna. Two negatives don't make a positive.
And what I need right now is a positive.
Dr. Frankenstein and Igor.
Can I bring my guitar? No.
We've got Scott tied up. They search before. The monster accidentally squished Hathaway again behind a door, because that's not getting any less funny each time they do it.
It's the rule of three, mate, but they never go for the third one.
No, they
Nasty
don't.
finds-
No, I know. I was waiting for the
They
third
do.
one.
They do, because he gets knocked off flight of stairs.
Lucky
doesn't he?
bastard. All right.
Yeah.
No, that's not the same as being squashed. You got rules.
That would have done it for me.
That's why I'm a criminal pathologist in my spare time. Being squashed is not the same as falling downstairs. More next week.
The pile is the enemy of the whole. Yes. Nasty finds Scott all tied up and releases him. Tells him that Mary's in danger. She no longer has any feelings for Scott, because that was just a mad bout of passion an hour before.
Yeah. I mean, I would have been like, "Come on, have you got that? Have you got that jumpsuit? Put that on." And then
she says, "Well, in the words of Hillary Clinton, he may be a womanizer, but he's all I've got."
I mean,
1995. This is.
Yeah.
Pew, 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 pew. Yep, it's great. The more I think about it, the more I love it.
you're welcome to it, Joe.
Hathaway then gets thrown off the side of a balcony and then gets cradled by hookers. And he's like doing a bit to the camera as well. I couldn't really work out what that was a parody of. But yeah,
I didn't get it as a parody.
It was just mugging, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just getting your screen time in.
Igor finds the monster and they do charades about what he was doing. And I was just thinking about now, it hasn't really undercut me at any point. I've been like buying into all the jokes. There needs to be something that kind of like catches me out by now.
See, this was the bit where I was like, "Oh,
yeah,"
because he uses the word spastic.
Yeah.
And he uses what was the other one?
There
was something else he said, and I was like, "Oh, this is."
He mentions "don't ask, don't tell."
That was the bit, yeah.
Which I didn't really get.
American military was if you were gay, you could sign up.
That was "don't ask, don't tell."
Don't ask, don't tell.
I didn't understand like the reference in that.
I missed the joke, the quote-unquote joke, before it, and I didn't want to rewind it because I knew it was going to make me angry.
He does also say, "Oh, so what are you doing? Something to do with plastic?" And then he also references Susie Chapstick, who's an Olympic skier who allegedly had an affair with Teddy Kennedy.
Fuck
So he's back on
me.
it, back on that horse.
That's
Let it
layers
go.
of layers.
Let it go.
All of the fact that she is heir to the Chapstick Empire. I'm astounded by that.
What the? Fuck off!
I don't know.
Mate, you had me going there that chapstick was named after
Christ,
someone.
I could have kept that going for episode after episode.
No.
Weeks.
Her name is something like Chappie or something like that, and she popularised chapstick.
Chapstick, right?
Sort of like retrospectively.
Oh,
named
I thought it was like Biro. Yeah, like oh,
yeah, named for Lord Byron. Yeah.
yeah. No,
Yeah. Anyway.
Sure,
this
James.
has all gone way off topic. Let's get back to the horror. We're in the home stretch now, at least.
Yeah, so Scott finds Mary in a trance. All she can say is, "Yes, master."
Am I your master?
For this to get dark, does it?
No.
I mean, I liked this joke. It was pretty funny.
Go for it.
He says, okay, do the swim. And I was like, oh, great. It's going to be a B-52's video. And she does the swim. And then he goes, do the breaststroke. And do the backstroke. And then he says, go under. Which I guess is that thing. And then he whispers something in her ear. And she slaps him. And he says, I knew it was too good to be true. I was like, that's a fun joke. Yeah.
It's now I know she's 19. It's fine.
He could have said, "Go and join ISIS," couldn't he? In her ear, like, we'll never know. It wasn't. It was. Yeah. He said, "Don't do Boy Meets World."
Don't do Girl Meets World.
Oh,
Don't
Christ,
Boy
that
Meets
existed,
World
yeah.
follow up from.
Yeah.
Don't sign
5 years
that
ago.
Was it
with
their
Hallmark.
kids? Yeah. But yeah. So he sort of gets her to follow him.
Yeah, so that he's just going to try and rescue her. She's following obediently.
Also, they've changed her clothes into like a negative Mrs. Santa Claus outfit.
Yeah, it's sort of like Dracula death garbs. It did a
No,
lot
because it's got like a white furry collar. Possibly Mink Stole shedded one of her skins.
Someone stole her mink. Hi-oh!
Right. Oh, come on, we're near the end now.
Dr. Frankenstein's got a plan at this point to put the clocks back so that the Count will be killed by sunlight.
Raise the nets.
Very circumstantial. And then everyone surrounds Scott and Mary at the doorway just as they're about to escape. And then the next you see, Scott's tied up in the basement, and he says, "You'll never get away with this." And Bobby Pickett says, "That's what they told Teddy Kennedy."
Oh God! Look, what have you got in for the Kennedys?
What have you got on him, Bobby
I
Pickett?
reckon Bobby Pickett and Teddy Kennedy went to school together, and like Teddy Kennedy's just like one girl liked him better, and he's never been able to fucking let go of it ever. Bobby Pickett is a menace.
Is from Bobby Pickett. He comes from
Bobby
Massachusetts.
Pickett.
He comes from Massachusetts, so he, like the same sort of area. So, and he was a big name in the '60s, sort of.
Was
I
he?
feel like,
Are you no 50s Pickett? I watched a video after this because it came up on. It came up after this video of Bobby Pickett performing Monster Mash on like the Tonight Show, not the Tonight Show, but like
Great Whistle Test.
no. Whispering Bob Harrison, here's some cunt. Like on some performance fucking variety show thing. Like, and it's just him doing this, like mugging at the camera.
1962 novelty song.
62, all right.
Yeah.
Wow.
That hurts me more.
I
That
mean,
it isn't.
it's
That
like-
it isn't 50s.
Yeah.
He's
But
relying on nostalgia.
It's doing the 50s thing, isn't it?
It is. I mean,
It's happy days.
Yeah.
60s really hasn't been born by then, is it? Really?
Not
I guess
62.
not.
no.
I could start holding
Anyway,
a podcast
Teddy
about
Kennedy. Fuck right. I'll take a Teddy Kennedy over a Bobby Pickett any day of the fucking week.
Well,
My
both
words.
dead now, so.
Wilson Pickett will get to fuck.
Yeah, I was waiting for a Wilson Pickett joke. I like that. Yeah. Hathaway kicks off, so Frankenstein slaps a sign on him saying Priscilla on his back.
And then Elvis the Mummy bums him to death. Bums him into a sarcophagus, and that's the last time he gets squashed. And I thought that was the payoff of the 3, but it isn't.
Yep.
No.
And I just put, why is he in this again? What was
Again.
the point of any of that?
I think they were like, to get funding from local radio stations, they have to have a person of colour in the cast.
I was thinking
But
about
then they were
Elvis,
like, if
the
we're
whole
doing
Elvis
it-
subplot.
We're gonna have a big racist every time he walks on fucking stage. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was. I'm not sure that it was in the original stage version, but I think it might be. And Elvis being like a really current figure at that time, obviously he wasn't dead at that point. Oh, yeah, I don't know.
If Elvis had had a song in this, I would have been okay with him being there as a character.
Yeah, exactly. It just feels really.
But he
tactile.
didn't.
He's not there as a character, though.
No. And anyway, right.
Monster then does a Beavis and Butthead impression.
Again, 95.
Oh, I mean, it's just a bit too late for me. Is this the bit where, have we missed Stella, I'm walking here, and a random Marlon Brando?
Yes, we have missed that
we have.
because I was just so bored with that.
Yeah,
eagle.
like he just then goes, oh well, fuck it, I might as well do the impressions I can do that aren't the Crypt Keeper.
As
might get an
he-
Oscar or a People's Choice Award.
As he goes as he goes to meet the monster at the foot of the stairs, he goes, I've always wanted to do this. Stella!
Yeah.
And then, and
See,
we
yeah,
get
Can't you
Joel.
hear me yella? You're putting me through hella, Stella.
guys and dolls.
Just a bunch of crazy guys and dolls.
Luke
We're all
Beer,
dancing, listeners. Hang on, these songs aren't in Guys and Dolls.
It's the Kane from Citizen Kane.
Oh well, yeah. There's that Rosebud impression as well.
And yet, Mark's never asked me on to do the fucking Simpsons episodes.
I've not asked anybody on.
No,
I can't
you don't
even
need.
get
You
Tom- I
don't
can't
need
even get
us.
Tom to do it.
You got Tom's dour enough, yeah. And then Hathaway has been bummed by Elvis for all eternity in a coffin.
So then we've got the Count and the Countess.
Countess wakes up and she's like, "Bruh, Dracula, get into this coffin." I said it right that time. Get into this coffin because daylight is about to hit. And he goes, "No, we've got an hour yet because vampires have an intrinsic sundial sort of situation."
And they're also not big farmers, so they don't have lousy farmers' daylight savings.
Fuck me.
I
I'm
thought it
so
was a daylight
confused.
savings time joke because I only got this on the second time
He
around.
literally just said,
And I was like, but I'm sure they don't have
back
that.
an hour.
Yeah.
No,
Anyway.
America does have daylight savings.
Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
It's
Oh,
slightly
okay.
before
Yeah, it's
or
a
after
couple of
As.
weeks. It's a couple
Yeah.
of weeks the other way. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But it wasn't that anyway.
No, he literally just like did a ghost and just reversed the clock an hour, and then Igor's like,
doesn't pay off,
"Bah!" And then he hits the he just goes, "Oh, I'll just go to bed then."
Yeah.
Just like me at the end of a night, I'm like, I'm just going to bed. Sort yourselves out. Don't leave the door open.
That's why he keeps going on about the prepubescent girls or something.
He does the same joke again,
Yeah.
and she just goes, just go to bed. And then that's the last we see of those, thankfully. So we're just now left with Scott chained to this thing, Mary still in a trance.
It's still in a trance, yeah.
Yep.
And Victor Frankenstein and Igor. And the monster doing his Beavis and Butthead impressions, talking about the X Games, Tamagotchis, other things that were popular in the mid-90s, Teddy Kennedy. And Victor Frankenstein's like, okay, put the thing on his head and we can switch all the brains round and it'll be great and, we'll have fun. And Igor, realising that this is no life for him. And this was the bit that sort of made me go, okay, this is the human moment of film. He goes, oh, I don't know. Sorry, how do I put this on again? And he goes, oh, you idiot.
Steampy.
Yeah. And he's put it on this minute, and then he throws the switch, and Frankenstein and Igor's brains get switched into their opposite bodies. Which was that's the whole payoff of this film, I've just realised.
Yeah.
I feel violated.
They go off squabbling.
With each other's voices, that was pretty good, though.
Yeah, that's fine. No problem with that. Mary wakes up at this point, releases Scott. They do deep kissing while the monster watches.
Yeah.
I mean, he truly is a monster.
I mean, he's not Jimmy Savile.
And then they just go out. They decide to go to Debbie's party next. They're just straight
they
on
leave.
the party.
They leave the house. The sun's coming up, and they're like, next year, let's go to Debbie's party. Yeah.
Oh right, I thought they were straight off to Debbie's party then. And there.
No, next year. It's Halloween's over, mate.
Yeah, well.
Can anyone tell me? I know we've glossed over this. Why didn't sunlight kill?
I don't know.
Dracula.
It didn't hit him. It didn't hit him. Like, Igor opened that Velux roof blind that they had.
Was a Velux roof blind.
Know,
They're expensive, then.
I know they are. I've literally been looking at them today. I've not even got a conservatory. I just wanted to see how much they were. Research.
Joe facts.
No, because he doesn't stand in the beam, and I think you have to be in direct sunlight for it to hit. Like, I can't, like, in Interview with a Vampire, when they're trapped in that well, innit? Like, yeah.
You picked him Interview with a Vampire. I was thinking What We Do in the Shadows, but okay.
I mean, well, it's all vampires, isn't it? Yes. But yeah, that's what I assumed. But because he didn't, he sort of circumvented it and went and hid in his coffin. Which then, like, someone could have just dragged into some sunlight and opened, like, if they wanted rid of him.
True.
Yeah. Anyway, that was the film.
Yeah.
That was 1995's Monster Mash.
You're missing a song. Because there's the blooper reel, which does the Monster Mash again. And then after that, there's You're About to Lose Your Mind, the rock song that covers the credits.
Oh, I stopped it.
I didn't get that.
Well.
No, I didn't get that.
Don't lose any sleep over it.
I'm going to have to fucking listen to it now.
Yep.
Was that one from the original musical, or
I think that was one that was just written for this.
Ah, fuck it then.
Yeah.
Right, but yeah, that was the film. A film that exists in this world.
A film that is roughly about the same length of what we've just discussed, by
Pretty
the way,
much,
gentlemen. Yeah.
I think we did better, though.
I mean, it wouldn't be difficult.
We need to get a couple of
We
Deirdre Barlow
probably had just
references
as
in.
many 90s references, yeah.
Yeah.
Trevor from EastEnders, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Fred West, get some of that in there. Not the salmon, man, the other one.
Okay.
John West, isn't it, the salmon? Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, John West's tuna and...
Has he got like a big fish head, big eyes on the side of his head?
Am I going mental? John West is like the tinned fish man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is his
anyway.
middle name Skipjack? I don't know. I don't know what's
Right,
going
this
on
has gone way off. I'm gonna have to fucking.
Anyway.
We were doing so well. I thought I can get this edited and out tonight, right? And this has all gone fucking wrong now. So, James, your score out of whatever we're scoring these out of now. I can't remember.
I'm going to go with 4 silver Teddy Kennedys, please.
Oh, of course you are.
Mark.
I'm going with 5 out-of-date bronze references.
I like it. Yeah.
I'm going to go with 3 silver prepubescent girls.
Oh god, it was that dragged it down, wasn't it?
It is.
I couldn't give it gold, but
It
there
was
was
camp.
enough in there
Like-
that I did like. Yeah, it was probably like up to the halfway mark. I was in for it.
It was camp as fuck, which I'm all for, but you could tell that Bobby Pickett was like, I have an agenda here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Against the Kennedy family.
His anti-Kennedy rhetoric was too much for me.
Even referencing, what was she called? Fucking Lucy Chapsticks.
I'm sure that's part of it. I saw it on Wikipedia and I was like, well, that's why that's in there then.
No,
Massive,
because
famously gave a lot of his profits to the Nixon administration.
I am not a crook.
but Lucy Chapsticks is.
She cheated at the skiing. She put chapstick on the bottom of the skis to go.
Chapsticks on the skis. I don't know.
Sorry, I have to do that to get in the right mood for it.
It's fine.
Yep, so that was Monster Mash, 1995, also known as Frankenstein Sings. And I think that was how it was
No, he
released
doesn't! At any point!
I know, he doesn't, does he? No.
No, he does. You're thinking, no, Frankenstein's monster doesn't sing, but Frankenstein does.
Fuck
He
you!
sings the song.
Oh,
He
you
sings the
pedant.
song.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
With
Yeah,
his,
okay.
Yeah.
It's
Bridge
that
is out,
forgettable
brother.
already, isn't it?
It's a regular mistake that a lot of people who don't understand
Complex horror.
Elevated
Elevated horror.
Yeah, elevated horror, elevated musical horror.
Oh, mate, there's a fucking genre.
Melora doesn't really work.
Melanomas.
Oh, Jesus. Same year as Raging Angels, 1995.
Oh, if you haven't
Demo-
seen that, go and watch it and listen to the episode. It's where the Golden Fabio came
It
from.
is.
Yes.
And The Demolitionist was also 1995. So what
Oh,
a year
what a
for this
sweet
podcast.
tit of years that is, yeah.
Little did they know that the shit they were planting would harvest in the years to come. Yeah, Demolitionist.
Fuck around, find out.
Another good film. Yeah, so that was adapted from a 1967 musical play. I'm sorry, the bridge is out. You'll have to spend the night. Which was Bobby Pickett and Sheldon Allman. 4 of those songs from the original show appear in the film. And it was released to video, and this is the most puzzling thing of all, released to video in 1995 on November the 14th, well after Halloween. Good fortnight, straight to video.
Look, I was made promises that were not delivered on.
Yeah, created by Bobby Pickett. Apparently, I was going to do a lot on Monster Mash. I'm not now. I just don't want to listen to it anymore. Elvis Presley called it the dumbest thing that he'd ever heard. And I wonder
Christ.
if that's why Elvis is in there. Because there's no other explanation for why he should be anywhere near this film.
Bobby Pickett spikes me as a fucking spiteful man.
He's a bitter. Yeah. He's the Partridge of
he
60s
is. Yeah.
parody music.
Yeah.
Suffice to say, he had the last laugh because Elvis had been dead for like 15 years at this point.
I could also say needles to say.
Needles to say.
Pickett himself said, when I hear the song, I hear a cash register ringing. He was very, very open about that. Came from Massachusetts, as I said, very near to Salem. And he sort of like bigs that up quite a lot in his interviews.
Of course he fucking does.
Yeah. During the 2004 presidential election, according to the NME, Pickett brought back his hit for a new political version, Monster Slash. It had new lyrics, co-written by eco-campaigner...
Yeah, but were they all about the Kennedys? Kennedys aren't even standing, Bobby. I fucking hate them.
It was protesting against George W. Bush's environmental policies, which is a little bit confusing because there were way more top of like the policy list stuff that George W. Bush did.
Oh,
fair enough.
I'm guessing George Bush was going to build something in Bobby Pickett's fucking backyard, and Bobby Pickett took umbrage to that. Yeah, Bobby Pickett is the biggest NIMBY, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so can't figure out his policy. I did try and do a bit of digging. There's a lot of phone interviews with him where it's just him rambling about Monster Mash, and I'm not going to do it. Directors were Joel Cohen, writer of Toy Story, cheaper by the dozen if you want to list that afterwards, and Alex Sokolow, who was writer of Rock Dog 2.
Oh, not Rock Dog.
What?
The writer of Rock Dog was like, I've told all the stories I need to tell.
Juliet was Candace Cameron before she was Bure. Igor John Cassier from
Spanish for butter.
Well, I won't do any more about Candice Cameron. She's been on so many of the films we've...
The last episode, Christmas Under Wraps,
Yes,
she's in that one, yeah.
She was a Hallmark queen in so
No,
many...
but she's now going to...
I can't even remember what
it's called, like, goodchristianfilms.com.
New American Frontier
Yeah,
of
it's
something,
the new founding fathers of America.
yeah.
Hallmark apparently has got too spicy for some people, and so they fuck knows. Like I think Lacey Chabert is headed that way as well, and that hurts me a lot because I have a lot of love for this Chabert.
I don't know that it's only that, but anyway,
it's because this Christmas there is a Hanukkah film and there's a same-sex couple in one of the films, and I think this conflicts with their Christian ideologies, alleged Christian ideologies, and that's why they don't want to be part of Hallmark, despite the fact that fuck it. Anyway, moving on.
I think it's all dollar ultimately, but
well, when they come crawling back to Hallmark, we should all go, no, Christian Candice Butter, get out of
ours
here.
now.
Yeah, we've made it a safe space, you cook.
I Got Eagle was played by John Cassier, most famous for Tales from the Crypt, which I've not watched, but is...
Was he the Crypt Keeper?
He's the voice of the Crypt Keeper.
I thought he was. He got better.
Right, yeah, fair enough. Wolfie, Adam Shankman, not a lot on him. He later went on to choreograph for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so involved in that in some way.
Fights or dances?
I don't know, because there was that one musical episode they did.
Yeah, but...
cracking choreography in it, but I don't know.
More with feeling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Elvis was played by E. Aaron Price. He has one other acting credit as Elvis in Munchie Strikes Back, 1994.
Wow, he's got a twofer.
Yeah.
Two Elvises in different films.
But he's barely Elvis in this.
I know. It's weird. Oh, because I was thinking, maybe he was an Elvis impersonator. Anyone could have been under that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I love that, though. He's 2 acting credits at Elvis, and at no point do we ever see him be Elvis.
On this one, he was like, I think I've finally cracked the soul of that, and he never had to do any more of it. No more. Countess Natasha Nasty, Dracula.
Yeah.
Sarah Douglas. And yeah, you're spot on for spotting her in Ursa, the Christopher Reeve Superman series. She also appeared in the same year in The Demolitionist as a surgeon.
What?
Oh,
yes.
wow.
We've squared the circle on this one.
Oh, see, it's also incestuous.
So, yeah. She said, I did everything in my power not to be an actress. I went off and did a teacher training course first so that I could teach English and drama, because I'm not thick, surprisingly enough.
She did everything she could to not be an actor in this, I can assure you.
Yeah, but if she did teacher training, that, is, in the words of Busted, is what I'd go to school for.
Oh, fucking right, lads.
Yeah.
Not
a lot rhymes with Douglas in the chorus, though, does it?
Her IMDb is just full of films that I want to watch that are like...
I'm prepared to do a Sarah Douglas season, if any of them where she gets a batch out.
They're always like films that are in the middle of the series, like Meatballs 4.
What?
What? There's a Meatballs 4?
I had Meatballs 2 that I bought when the video shop near me closed down, and I got it for 20p, and I never watched it.
That feels like too much. Beastmaster 2.
Not the one where he goes through time.
Yes,
that's Beastmaster 3, isn't it?
Yeah, Beastmaster 3 is where he goes through time.
I thought it was called like the Portal of Time or something like that. Something called Steel Justice in 1987. Super Warriors. Also known as Solar Babies.
Oh,
Babies?
That's got to be the next one, right?
1986, a post-apocalyptic future ruled by the military. A group of renegade teenage orphans find a legendary...
Yeah, Solar Babies it was known as. Yeah, we've talked about that before.
Have we? Right, okay.
Yeah. Sarah Douglas got about. I'm all for more. The Sarah Douglas, we'll do a year of Sarah Douglas. I don't care.
Apparently, on that
Still
film,
acting.
at one point, Mel Brooks, who financed a lot of it, was forced to fly back to Spain and threatened to fire everybody. That's enough for me.
We're all having a nap.
Drinking drugs, isn't it?
It's the Spanish way. They just have a siestas, isn't it?
No, the problem was apparently that it was supposed to be about a desert in a post-apocalyptic world, and it just rained solidly for a fortnight, and they couldn't do anything.
You can't fire people because of nature's wrath.
Well, you tell that.
Why else would you fire them?
You should have had weather insurance.
You tell that to Mel
Act of
Brooks in
God.
the middle of the 90s. And I'll just do one more, and I feel like this is one that's worth finishing on. The Monster, that was Darren McBee. Does that name sound familiar at all? McBee.
It feels like it should, but
It
also
should do. There was a clue to it earlier in James Facts. Raging Angels. He starred as Fabio in Raging Angels.
Oh, what?
Still my quivering nipples.
Yeah, so anyone who's not listened to that podcast, Raging Angels was a film that we hated, and then we did a podcast about it and just loved it.
Yeah, it's
Weirdly.
just camp as fuck, yeah.
Weird alchemy. But right at the end of it, there's the Archangel Gabriel turns up and just does a really weird battle scene.
There's a
That was this man.
PlayStation 2 fight scene.
And after that, we've always measured success in his name, the Silver Fabios. So I'm going to change my answer to 4 silver original Fabios.
I like
it's not
it.
his finest work, though.
No, Raging Angels is.
Definitely. Done.
Not a lot of reviews for this, unsurprisingly. That aren't either very sarcastic or very self-indulgent. But I found one that I think sums it up pretty well, actually. Walks the line between awful and more awful. By Utgard144. A couple of teenagers have car trouble that forces them to spend the night at Dr. Frankenstein's creepy old mansion. Throughout the night, they meet strange characters and sing songs that will make your ears bleed. This is based on a stage musical that was nearly 30 years old by the time this movie was made. The musical was co-written by Bobby Pickett of novelty song Monster Mash fame. Pickett is also in this movie as Dr. Frankenstein, and yes, we get to see the cast perform that song with some truly embarrassing dance moves. The leads of this movie are Candice Cameron and it says Ian Botham, but it's not Ian Botham.
I'd love to see this bloke walking from Land's End to John O'Groats.
Eating raw shredded wheat. They both do fine considering the material is not much better than your average high school play. Teen Wolf fans might also barely recognise Ian Botham, whose big ears and unfortunate 90s haircut are a far cry from the hunky character he plays on that show.
Oh yeah, I didn't even bother.
Not the Teen Wolf, the Michael J. Fox ones. They did like because it's written by Jeff Davies, but not the comedian Jeff Davies. The other one. It's not important.
It's certainly not written by anybody that's got any comedy chops. That's for sure.
No, the Teen Wolf. Anyway.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were about this. Yeah.
I suspect Candice and Ian only did the singing during their first song, which was more speaking to music than actually singing. When they have a love song duet together, the voices very obviously belong to others. The songs really stink, by the way. The movie is very corny. After a while, it started to wear on me. I never found it funny or cute, just really grating. When I found this was released theatrically, I couldn't believe it. Everything about this production screams made for TV. It's an interesting curiosity, I suppose, for fans of the leads or for those who like kitsch. But anybody expecting a movie that isn't entertaining will be disappointed.
Anyone expecting a movie will be disappointed.
I don't know. I don't know that he's bang on there at guard 144. I thought some of the jokes landed, but I think it ground me down over the course.
I got wore out. Like, so by the hour mark, when I paused it to go for a wee and make a brew, I was like, "This."
You consider just escaping out of the bathroom window.
There was still 20 minutes left, and I was like,
I would argue if I watched this with a group of people, if I watched this with you two in a theatre after maybe a couple of, I don't know, fucking Virgin Marys or whatever, I'd have a good time.
Yeah,
it's a prime Mystery Science Theatre 3000 film.
Yeah. If there was a couple of robots at the front chattering and whatever, first of all, I'd tell them to fucking shut up and that we're funnier, and then I'd have a good time.
Depends which versions of the robots they were.
Oh, the current ones.
No, they're shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't hate it, and it is ripe for, like you said, ripe for lampooning.
Which is why we're doing it.
Well, you picked it. You picked it on the basis of it had Candice butter in it.
Don't poo-poo my great ideas.
All the best ideas come from poo-poo.
Indeed.
In conclusion, that was 1995's Monster Mash, the movie. Please hang around until the end of music credits. There's a little thing we're putting in all the way through this month. Not saying you've got to give money or whatever, but it's for a good cause, and it'll make your Christmas just a little bit better, knowing that someone else's Christmas is a little bit better as well.
Yeah. Give us all your fucking money.
No, not all of it. Just if you've got some spare. If it's one less bottle of white cider, You know,
One less bottle of Terps.
yeah,
Or,
you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. It's really good. It's going
Yeah.
to help out some families and some people that have got a little bit less than you and I.
In my hometown, and I don't
Yeah.
give a fuck about anyone else.
Yeah. Fuck anybody in Carlisle.
I mean, if you want to have a Carlisle bonus on it, like, we'll do it, but you've got your own podcast, so fucking you do it, son.
Never.
Never! Gentlemen, your favourite fucking lines from the film, and believe me, I have thousands.
May I introduce you to my wife? She's a count, but she spells it differently.
I'm sure any woman that got to know the real you wouldn't even notice your hump. No, thank you.
Oh, not the only bridge out of town.
Oh, Teddy Kennedy.
Oh, proud Mary keeps on rolling.
Oh, fuck off, dude.
Play with my hunch? Play with my what? Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
See ya.
If you like what we do, please consider giving a small donation to Manchester's Wood Street mission. We know times are incredibly difficult for everyone out there, but anything that you can spare goes a long way towards helping some of Manchester's poorest at Christmas. There'll be links in the show notes, and I'll probably drop this again at the end of the episode. If you can donate, that's fine. You're under no obligation to. This will still be free. We just wanted to use what little tiny reach we had to try and make Christmas better for everyone.